Hey there, good morning. I'm John. Today is Monday, November 6th, 2023. This is my daily vlog, my regular ritual stand-up, where I report to you and me what I have been doing, how we're doing, and what we're doing next to try to make content creation a sustainable full-time operation. Been at it for just over a year now, and things are coming along. So I hope you had a good weekend. So let me start by recapping Friday, where I completed all of the shooting and started editing my long-form ranking tier video. In fact, that's a large part of what today is. We'll talk about that in a second. It entailed, finishing research on games, writing, shooting, compositing some graphics. You have to drag the things around, have the letters pop up, all that stuff. I got all that completed on Friday. In addition to some other minutia I'll talk about in a second that's moving forward. But so it was a productive Friday. It set me up really well for today. I continued through the weekend to publish short videos, and they're continuing to do well, including the ones over on, I talked about last week about a new initiative to try to spur stuff on the YouTube side of our podcast. And we're migrating some of those old shorts over to the podcast channel, and they're hit or miss. Some will get 10, 20, 30, and then one on Saturday got 2,000 views or something. It's all about getting attention to that channel and getting people to come and see and hear what's going on over there, hopefully discover us, because of these two worlds, these podcast and YouTube worlds that don't quite overlap. Speaking of which, I saw a lot of a lot of comments Friday people talking about whether they do or don't listen to podcasts. I know I was kicking the crutch out of Jamie, who said, well, I don't listen because I can't do it on Alexa. And I'm like, oh, yes, you can. And I told him how. And he's like, oh, well, now I don't have an excuse. But really, it's about accessibility. It's not just flip a switch, right? You have to know where to go to get it, things like that. So that initiative also is working well. Shorts is becoming a part of that too. I also published on yesterday, I published a bonus episode, which was my interview on Digitally Creative with Vincent Ferrari that initially was done back in December, so almost a year ago now. I thought it was a good time, now that we just reached a year, it was a chance to give Vincent some exposure and also create a bonus content for our audio show for anyone that maybe necessarily hadn't seen or heard that before. It helps everybody across the board. So that's another data point of things that got done over the weekend. Let's talk stats then. So let me see. I looked a little while ago. I think when we spoke on Friday, I think we hadn't reached 40,100. It was a little shy, so we didn't even talk about it. But we got there and more. So as of this morning, we're at 40,200 and about a half, I think, ish. Last time I looked, it was 30 or 40. I forget where it was, but almost a quarter of the way to the next 1,000 from over the weekend. Can you believe it? That's cool. And views, I looked over the 7 days average, about 11,000 views per day. So we're above that 10,000 watermark that I've become pretty comfortable with. Okay, which thing to talk about today? Let's talk about what we're going to do today, which, as I mentioned, is I'm going to be focusing on editing that long-form tier ranking video. I posted a teaser over on our community channel of what it is and got people engaged and interested now. Historically, those things take about 8 hours to edit because there's so many moving parts. I don't know, so I'm going to try to get it done today. It's my hope. I've got a little bit of early start this morning, but I also have some stuff I need to get done. I need to get a haircut, hopefully today, if I can get that scheduled in. It's a mop. But I hope to get that done today. If I can't, definitely by tomorrow, even though it's podcast editing day tomorrow. And this week is a bit of a busier week, too. There's more stuff going on in the evenings, where the last week I had more free evenings. I'll tell you one little thing that before I leave that I'm also doing in parallel, nothing ever sleeps, right? So my wife suggested a really good idea for the main channel, which is in December. So I've always had this tradition with my daughter. We'll get the Lego City Advent calendar and open it. And we were talking about the fact that, well, she moved away. How are you guys going to do the Advent calendar or whatever? It was just a tradition we've had for, I don't know, a decade or so. Anyway, we were talking about advent calendars and how many cool ones there are, and she's like, is there any way you could do like an advent calendar for GenXGrownUp for YouTube? And I'm like, So I'm working on that. I'm working on a very short one a day throughout December, not replacing my production, but something I'm trying to wedge into my production, right? That might get people coming back each day to see a very quick vlog-like, very simple thing. I have an idea what it is. I've begun some production work. I don't want to spoil it and tell you what it is, but I think it could be interesting. It's an experiment, like anything, right? It's unproven, so, but it could be cool, I think. Just a casual, 2 or 3 minutes tops. Here's the thing. Let's talk about it. Move on with your day, kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm working on that on the sly, along with everything else, and I'll continue to kind of do some more research on that today in between the cracks when I'm not editing. I think that's, yeah. That'll get me through today certainly, and look, what is this? The 6th. It's a good time to think about what I'm going to do in December, because if I wait till December, too late, right? So as that develops, I'll tell you a little more about it. Let me know if you think you'd be interested in seeing it, I guess, is another great thing. If there was a one-a-day thing like this vlog on a main channel, of any channel you watch, would that be something that might draw you back time and time again? I guess it depends. You tell me. I guess it depends on if you're interested in the thing, right? Probably. So, well, gotta find out if it works. Okay, let me go ahead and get cooking with today's work then. I got a lot of editing to do, so thank you for stopping to check out today's vlog, if in fact you did. If you're here every day, I love you for that. Thank you for being on this journey with me. It makes it so much more tolerable and worthwhile to have other people, standing there with me. It's fantastic. So thank you for being here. That's it. I'm going to get busy. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic Monday. Please do something good for yourself if you have at all the opportunity. You deserve it. And I'll talk to you again next day. Bye-bye.